Are Porsche buyers just too stupid to recognize a good deal when they see one? Like this 1978 Porsche Targa Widebody build listed on PCAR Market. Let's find out. Nerds! Bit Nerds is your daily YouTube car game show, where we predict the online auction results of the most interesting cars on Bring a Trailer, Cars and Bids, Haggerty Marketplace, and more. It's just like the Price is Right game show. Play along and see if you can beat the nerds.
JP, you selected for us another Hidioso on PCAR Market. This is underneath this Duty Brown paint job, JP, although it's not actually the same color as Duty Brown, is it?
I don't know. I think it is, or it looks pretty darn close.
This is mocha, and I think Duty was bitter chocolate, right?
Maybe you're right. I don't know.
Yeah, so this is darker. This is more like an espresso color, but Duty Brown, a film that JP made for Gaudin, Carly, for context. This is a 1980 Porsche 911 SC Targa on PCAR Market. Our car is in Olympia, Washington, which leads me to believe JP actually knows the owner of this car, and is showing 163,000 miles on the odometer. What I immediately noticed, JP, is that this car has been treated to turbo fender flares in both the front and rear of the car. In addition to that, it appears to be sporting. JP, did you look ahead? Are those 17 or even 18-inch wheels on this thing?
They're 18-inch Kinesis.
18. Yeah. It really
Come on,
and
man.
And the Kinesis are the forged wheels, right? Or are those the fixies I'm thinking of?
Kinesis
are
forged. They both are. Yeah. No, these are three-piece wheel, but it's
these are beautiful wheels. If you put these on like a 993 like that, you turn it into a track car overnight.
Yep.
The interior is also brown. I don't mind the fender flares. I don't like the wheels and the low profile tires that they've selected to put into those turbo flares. But the turbo flare Targa as a look with no spoiler is cool. Miss me with the wheels and tires, and please, for the love of God, somebody shoot the person who put that steering wheel on the car. That is some kind of effing terrible. But the brown interior with the, like ordinarily, JP, you and I don't like off black interiors that are in a monotone. But this car with the dark brown exterior and the dark brown interior actually isn't bad. You just got to go to a prototypo, and then you got to go back to a standard shift knob. And then cosmetically, this car would be a teeny bit more appealing. I just don't understand it, JP. If you're going to sell your car, why you wouldn't do a better job cleaning it? And for the love of God, could you just invest $100 on Amazon and get a new set of floor mats before you photograph your car with what looks like a rug that's outside the back door of your house? Like the details and the sentiment that these people convey is so deplorable and so bad. This car, I don't want to say it's DOA because SCs have been surprising us for a while now. But I feel like this car is challenged where it doesn't need to be. And much the same way Carly sort of picked apart that RS America listing that we covered previously. Bad photos that don't do anything to otherwise slightly enhance, which would be perhaps a less desirable or at least polarizing color. You could have enhanced that with a better detail, professional photography at the golden hour. Really could have done something for this car. But this car on those wheels and that light, in this condition, I mean, come on. Is there anybody who thinks this car is going to sell in the natural auction and not wind up in the deal tank, a.k.a. the chum bucket? So, JP, I get my tennis racket out and I volley this thing back over to your court. Tell us what you see when you see this car. And as the car is in your old neck of the woods, do you actually know the owner of this car? Is that a thing? Or was that
I do not know the owner of this car, but I did notice this car on Facebook Marketplace over the winter. And then it disappeared.
So
I was actually so there's I'm surprised you didn't mention, of all the bad things about this car, you know, the way it's listed, the way it looks and everything like that, and all the wheels, the fact that it's on PCAR Market is definitely not helping this car at all.
Well,
and like you mentioned, the chum bucket thing.
This car would get murdered on the other platforms.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Well, it would get contested on cars and
Well,
bids, but it
one
would
of
get
the
murdered on
interesting things
PAT.
about this listing that you're talking about how, okay, why would the seller do the things that they did, not change the floor mats, not take better photos, not do all these things, right? Well, the crazy thing about it is this seller is being represented by someone. So when you look at the actual listing, the person who's answering the questions is, a hired gun, right? It's not the seller. I literally went on there and asked, what is your relationship to the owner? And he's like, oh, I'm a very good friend who doesn't. It's like, yeah, bullshit. You're someone who's being paid to represent the car. Right. Fine. Yeah. That's cool. But if you're advising someone on how to sell their car and you don't go, hey, hire a damn photographer. There's a lot of things oh man, it's a double whammy. The owner of this car has owned it for 30 years. So this is a long-term ownership car.
Wow. Interesting.
I actually think this car is an opportunity. I picked it specifically because I might even bid on this thing. I'm hoping that the PCAR Market guys put enough downward pressure on the seller that I can steal this car. This car looks hideous with those 18-inch wheels. But like a real true M491 Targa car, like the one Gaudin Classic is restoring now, right? That's going to be a six-figure car. No way I'm just not spending that kind of money on a Targa 491. We haven't seen a Targa 491 in a long time. We know the coupes are well into the 100,000 range. You yourself have one. So a Targa is going to bring some real money. Nice. Yeah, right? So this particular car, I like the look. I don't care that it's not original. I'm not a purist. I like this car if it can be purchased at a price that's reasonable. If you can get this at a number that you can just pull these wheels off, put some Fuchs on it, or even better, like some Group 4 Campanolos. They make a deep dish, like a gold wheel on this car.
Oh, it'd be hot.
Right? And then throw a livery on it, like the Aviator Nation or something like that. Go with some 70s stripes. I think this car has mad potential with the brown interior, some cool gold wheels, and some just fly 70s livery. Get rid of those big bumpers on the back. It's literally 5 minutes to replace the steering wheel with a Porsche Classic, deep dish Mod 7 on there, and boom, you have an instantly better looking car. It's probably going to drive great.
30% more money in equity.
And you can immediately put it on BAT and sell it yourself for a lot more money. Carly, what do you think of this thing?
Well, I definitely feel like this car needs all the help it can get. It's not getting any right now.
Yeah.
Not at all. I this hurts my soul, honestly. But that being said, I hate the wheels. I hate the photos. I hate the color. But that being said, with your vision for it, I can see where you're going. I can see where you're going with it. I think it has
Carly,
potential.
What do you think about JP dropping the Aviation Nation, whatever it is? Does it make you think he's got a 24-year-old daughter and that he's borrowed her car?
No comment.
Come on, sunset livery, that's dope, man. I look great on this car. All right. What do we think this thing's going to bring? What am I going to have to pay to get this car?
JP, I agree with you. I kid you for knowing what it is, but you're absolutely right. And ever since we've been sort of covering the cars, this sort of renaissance of like the K5 Blazers and cars from that era with their original liveries on them, I've been snapping photos that I see around the Bay Area. Toyota is now offering past period striping on their new line of cars. And I took a picture of one and sent it to you the other day. So
hold on, Deeb. I just want to add to this whole situation here.
Do it.
The first time I was at Aviator Nation store was with who?
With me. And you bought something for Rochelle, and she
rocks it. Exactly.
Yeah.
In your town. So he's the one that introduced me to the brand. And okay. Jeez. Anyways, okay. All right. So what's it going to bring? I'm excited about this car. I want to buy it.
All right, JP. Our car is at $21,000 on just 6 bids. The thing about this platform, Carly, is that they get almost no love until the final day or ultimately the final couple of hours. That's when 80% of the bids come in on PCAR Market. Our car closes 2 days from now. So essentially, I think, JP, on Tuesday. Boy, John, here's the thing. I have a sneaky suspicion the watermark for you is around 40 grand. And I do think the bidding is going to stop on this car around that number. But the question is, will it sell for that? Will the inevitable downward pressure that comes from the host site, which is PCAR Market, will they be on the phone to this consignor, who they probably got because they saw the same listing as you and have been calling the guy since last summer when you first saw it? They've probably been calling on this car, and this guy finally was like, you know what? I'm just going to get rid of this car. PCAR Market, what do you want to do with it? And they're like, oh, it's live already. You called us, so it's live. The question is, JP, will that downward pressure result in him letting it go cheaply, or will it inevitably wind up in the deal tank? So, John, man, to me, the watermark on this is 40 grand. I really feel like there's enough there. This car is going to go probably slightly over the number I think you want to get it for. And I think it's going to hit 45. And at 45, JP, we've just seen a few cars like recently, like the RSA and that 993 Club Sport. Those cars sold for less than we thought. So I'm going to give you 45 and tell you that I think it'll sell for that number, which will still be a screaming deal. But I think at 45, you might already be out. And then you're going to be pissed that you didn't stay in. But I think it's going to sell for that number. And I think you're going to be mad about it because I think you're going to get off it right before that. So how am I? Am I Miss Chloe tonight? Or were you thinking different numbers than what I'm describing?
Yeah, you know me. I am like 40 is kind of the number that I want it to be.
I knew it.
And a lot of people in the nerd, because I mean, think about it too. I mean, you're talking about the 5%. So what's that? Another, that's another $2,000 on top of it.
You're gonna get $3,800 for those wheels and tires, so you do get a rebate on the car.
There is, but then I got to replace them with something. But yeah, I think you could offset those wheels. Man, the funny thing is, those wheels are really expensive wheels.
Oh yeah,
they would look great on a 993. Absolutely.
They're just all wrong
Sell
for
them,
that car.
Which is not right on. Yeah.
Sell them to Rami for $5,000 and then go buy a set of Fuchs from Tony Mazzagatti for $1,000.
Right. Well, I think Rami has a set. Well, anyways. So at 40,000, what's the buyer premium at $40,000? Just at 40,000, because isn't their buyer premium $5,000 or 5%? So 5%, that'd be $2,000. Yeah. So I'm in at 42 before I even take delivery of the car. I'd just go get it. It's a $120 flight to Seattle and just drive it home.
Where are we going? I'll go with you. I'll meet you there.
We'll go up there and we'll put some dicks in our mouth for our friends in Seattle. You all know what I'm talking about.
Ladies' presents.
She knows all about it.
They're really small cheeseburgers. I learned much to my surprise.
Yeah, I know about it. Yeah.
Best fries ever.
Little cheeseburgers. Thank God.
Better than the ones.
I got caught on camera with one of those in my mouth.
It's so true. All right, yeah. So, but what do I think it's going to happen? I mean, I think it's realistic. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. I think it's the wrong time of year. I think people are looking for stuff that is inexpensive. I think that people that have there are a lot of people that have that kind of money and want an air-cooled car, but just can't find one. And this one's actually pretty decent. And if you have even the slightest bit of vision and you can see through the poor presentation of this car and see the opportunity, I think a bunch of people are going to go for it. I'm going to say, what was your number, Deeb?
45, and I also think it's going to sell at that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my number. I'll go $1,000 over you and go 46 and hand it off to Carly.
Okay. I mean, I don't know too much about who else is going to have a vision like yours, JP, for this car, but I'm going to say I'm going to probably be even a little bit higher than you guys. I'm probably going to say 49.
Okay.
Ooh, she might win because according to the herd, JP, you and I are being a little hard on this car.
Yeah.
The herd is talking to us, JP, and here's what they're saying. We got a lot of bids on this one too. Thank you everybody who's watching. Michael S at 48, Randy B at 49, Gerd at 45. Jerry, I keep skipping you, but Gerd and Jerry are together. Brian's at 42. That JP, you might get JP's money at 42. Buddha's at 35 and failed to sell. Thank you, Buddha, for hating on PCAR Market. Anthony at 46.5. Kevin at 50. We all agree. Randy says it's all going to be in the bucket. Yuri Sanakis at 36.5. I bet Yuri would buy it for 36.5.
Yuri, I hope you're right because I'm buying it.
Yeah. If Yuri's right, Yuri, you're going to see that car. George
this weekend.
Condor. Yeah, George is at 54. And Tom is at 49.5 with an FTS at close to 50. Wow, Tom. That's Tom thinks that the guy who owns it is giving you one of those, I know what I got. And then we got two more, JP, you'll like. One, Christian is saying 41,000. JP would be a buyer at 41. And then Scott Derrickson at 47. And I think that's all the bids. No, I got another one. Carbine's at 53. Kevin's at 50. Look how many bids we got on this. Randy B is going to be up all night writing these down. And then Anthony starts getting into the wheels. Oh, and X-Ray Bravo is at 49. So there you go. That's a lot of bids. JP, that might be one of the highest bid numbers we've gotten. I think Carly is bringing views. I feel like I'm about to be replaced as a host on this show.
Probably going to happen.
So,
It'll be interesting to see what happens with this one.
You and Steve Thiel just follow me around taking my jobs.
The replacements.
Oh my gosh. Shout out. What do you guys think this car is going to bring? Am I going to get a chance to buy this car? Or is it going to wind up in the chum bucket? Carly, did you say at your number that you think the car sells, or do you think it winds up in the chum bucket, aka the deal tank?
I do think it sells.
You think it sells? Yeah, because remember the seller was trying to get 59 for this car just a few months ago.
Oh, did you say that initially?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
I was.
So it'll be interesting to see if he's come to Jesus on this one, or if he's just going to be like, fine, I'm done with dealing with it. I mean, if he's had the car for 30 years.
So JP, when you see a listing like that, would you say it was Facebook Marketplace, right?
Yeah.
And you know the culture in the Pacific Northwest. You see a car on Facebook Marketplace for 59. In your mind, do you think he's trying to get 55, or do you think he's just trying to net over 50?
I mean, if he's smart, he's trying to net over 50, but, you just don't know. Especially, I mean, if he's had it for 30 years, he's probably not the youngest guy in the world. So he's
Boomer
one of those
adjacent.
guys. Yeah, he's boomer adjacent or strong boomer. That's the vibe I'm getting. Looking at that steering wheel, I'm just feeling all the boomer on that thing.
Yeah.
So
the thicker grip is easier for him with his arthritic hands.
Yeah,
It makes me feel
machine
old just
guns
looking
fighting
at
for your
it.
freedoms.
There's a driving video, and the guy, God bless him, he's got very good wheel discipline. He's not one of these guys that's got one hand on the wheel. You would expect with that steering wheel that he'd be the guy with the left hand up there at 12 o'clock and his right hand just sitting on the shifter the whole time, ripping through the gears. But no, he's at the wheel. He's back down. He's immediately back on the wheel. So God bless the guy. But he does not look like he's not going to be a hand model. That time in his life has passed.
Carly, did you think when you agreed to come on the show you'd be talking about boomers and their hand discipline?
No.
Yeah, well, there
No,
you go.
I
She
can
said she
confirm
watched
I
the
did
show
not.
before. I think she seriously lied to us. I feel like
she's like, I'll never rely on a resume again. Did I tell you about the time I was on a
watched
podcast?
the first 5 minutes of the show. I didn't know it went down the down the drain like this. What do you guys think this car will
One creep
bring?
was trying to get my social security number over the phone.
Man, let us know in the comments below. Hey guys, I gotta tell you about our friends Gaudin Porsche of Las Vegas and Gaudin Classic. If you're looking for a new Porsche or a classic, you gotta call our friend Steve at Gaudin. This guy.
1989 linen gray metallic G50 cab.
Is that gonna be for sale?
It is going to be for sale. The car only has 65,000 miles on it.
Save yourself the hassle of screwing around with all the auctions like we always talk about and just talk to Steve. He'll find you the classic Porsche you're looking for. Gaudin Porsche of Las Vegas. Hey guys, you're probably looking at your watch and wondering if Bid Nerds will ever end. So you better talk to our friends at Our Smiths to make sure your Rolex, Tag Heuer, AP, or any fine timepiece is in tip-top shape. Our Smiths, fine Swiss repair.
Several days later.
JP, you selected for us a 1980 Porsche 911 SC Targa. That, I think we decided this car had largely been a one-owner car, but somebody way back in period grafted on 930 front and rear fenders and quarters.
Oh, my God.
And then also added 18-inch, what were these, JP? Kinesis wheels or something? Like crazy stuff. Yeah. Now, what's interesting, John,
Wannabe E88s.
The paint is very take it or leave it. I don't, there's not a lot of takers for like, a duty colored brown, even though this is an actual duty brown color. But it's a polarizing color, but it's very period correct. The fenders aren't so bad, but matched with those wheels, it really set us spiraling. And then when you finish it off with that super cheap looking steering wheel and shift knob, car doesn't look like it doesn't look expensive. Let's just say that. So we wondered what this car would bring on PCAR Market, being that it is, as you say, JP, this is one of those cars that represents the values in the cuts, not the standard bread and butter of the air-cooled 911s, but something that's just off center. So good car to look at, one that you yourself said you were interested in. I figured you'd be interested in this car up to around 40 grand, but I thought even on PCAR Market, this car would live to see $45,000, where I thought it might sell. JP, you agreed with me and then took the over at 46, and Carly, our newbie in studio, took the over again at $49,000. So, Rami, what do you think about this 130,000 mile Targa in Washington with the flares and the wheels and the cheap steering wheel?
Oh, God.
It doesn't look to be in excellent condition, but I don't know what you'd expect at 130,000 miles on a non-restored example. I think this car could make a fine driving example if you changed a few things up. So when you see what's here to work with, Rami, on PCAR Market, what do you think? What do you think the hammer fell at?
It looks like a car like when you were a little kid and your aunt comes over and she's like, I got a Matchbox car for you. I know you like cars. And you're just like, what is this thing? Where did she buy it? Yeah. It looks ridiculous. The whole thing looks ridiculous. It's a ridiculous car. I say 37,000. That's
not
all
bad.
I wouldn't pay any more than that.
Let's go to Anthony. What do you got, Anthony?
Well, I also dislike this one, which is a rare occurrence. 2 911s in a row I dislike that doesn't happen. And then when I saw the color on a PCAR video, it's just a bad color. So my bid was 46.5. It's nickels and dimes at this point.
Yeah. But Buddha, give us your 2 cents.
Just by my, I guess, obstinate nature, I want to like a brown car.
Yeah.
But I don't like this one. I like the white hips on a Targa. I think that's great. I don't mind the brown interior. I kind of like that. The wheels, Anthony wanted to shame the person who'd done that backdate before. The person who put the wheels on this car needs to be run out of his village.
Yeah.
They are run over with that car.
Yeah, it is just almost unforgivable.
It's probably the same type of guy that puts ketchup on a hot dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I put 35 grand fail to sell. Anthony can check me on that, but I did not even think of the bidding.
It's more like ketchup on spaghetti.
Get near 40.
Yeah, ketchup on pizza. I hear you, Buddha. Anthony, will you read off the bids that you might have at your disposal, please?
So we have Randy at 49,000, Chris Carbine at 53,000, George at 54,000, Kevin at 50,000, Christian at 41,000, Buddha, you were right at 48,000, Scott D 47,000, Sergeant Tom 49.5, Yuri at 36.5, and Brian at 42K.
So it's so funny. We have the peanut gallery working tonight, JP. Because
totally.
Buddha goes, my bid was 37,000, and then Anthony goes, you were right, Buddha. You bid 48,000. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
like, is there anybody paying attention? Like, it's absolutely hilarious.
I don't want to let cigarette out of the bag. I'm usually smoking weed when this. I don't really remember.
We're drinking
wine.
I always thought that it was like really easy to run the studio the way JP sets it up for me to do the show with him, and then we bring guests in, and you guys are all over the place. Like you guys make us look like we got it tight around here, which is not the case. Initially. I thought Randy and Carly were going to win with their bids of $49,000, but Kevin, Anthony, correct me if I'm wrong. You said Kevin bid 50,000.
Kevin bid 50.
Our car sold for $49,950 on 37 bids. Look, that's right on the money. JP, let's start with you. You're at 46. Car sells for 50. I mean, that's a win. You got it right. Is it because you think people can see what's there? Like chances are most people that look at a wide body Targa in brown aren't thinking 18-inch, forged wheels as the finishing piece. So do you think that people are looking at this going, hey man, there's a lot under the shit. If we just remove the shit off this car, you could be a nice car into that prototype.
Here's the thing. Everyone, for guys like me, I love it when people can't see past the tips of their shoes. The wheels on the steering wheel. They're just freaking the F out. Everybody calm down. Wheels come off. That's the great thing. This represents such an amazing opportunity because those wheels are actually really nice wheels. They're just not period correct. Those wheels would actually look really good on Rami's 993 roof. They're wide body Kinesis. These are quality freaking wheels. Those are probably $5,000. That's a $5,000 set of wheels right there in 3-piece forged
JP.
wheels.
So
they are the right wheel for the wrong car. If this car had just regular Fuchs, or if it had Group 4 gold wheels on it, this thing would be dope as hell. Change the steering wheel. It's 6-bolt. It's already got the Momo up. We've all, probably every one of us, have 3 or 4 prototypos on a shelf somewhere that we've. Look, there's a steel right behind Deeb's head. We all have steering wheels that would instantly transform the interior of this car. And for everyone to go, oh, it's only worth $30-something thousand because of wheels that easily come off and can be replaced for $1,500 or $2,000 is just absolutely freaking R word. I mean, it's just dumb, and I love the fact that. I gotta say, it's not that word. That there's a different R word. Maybe they're on the same part. I don't know. Are you a Rami? What does that mean when you call some a Rami tard? I don't know. A Rom-tard. I like it.
I feel like I'm getting.
JP. Go ahead, Buddha.
I feel like I'm getting yelled at by JP.
I know.
I am a little bit.
My bid was closer. My bid was closer than JP.
I know. And it's not that the bid was wrong. Your bid was absolutely right, but I think this car represents a value. I think this car, if it had the right set of wheels, which would be so stupidly easy to change, and the steering wheel and some photos.
Like you do every week with all of your cars?
Every car you get, you got to change, right? Exactly.
Wheels, tires. Didn't you hide wheels in my garage?
It's a sickness, man. It's totally a problem to have that kind of. I mean, take up heroin. It's way cheaper, guys.
I liked your idea of the gold wheels and the vintage stripes. Now that fucking would set that car off.
Right. If it had like the Aviator Nation style Sunsetter graphics on the side of this thing, it would be great. And I actually do think that it would look good if you pulled the rocker panels off again and exposed those oil lines down the side.
Sure.
This would be a lot of fun. I think this would be a great looking car. It would be $100,000+ looking car for, call it, under $60,000, right? It has that wide body Targa thing that you don't see a lot. Usually, I mean, a wide body Targa, if it were a real 491, is at least $150,000, right?
Yeah.
So it would have the look of, if you didn't know it wasn't a real 491, if it's done well. So I'm saying it would have the look of a $150,000 car. It wouldn't be worth $150,000. Let's calm down here a little bit, but I do think
you're
there's
the
an
one who's
opportunity.
excited.
I am. I was trying to fix all the technical issues, and I'm just listening to the gibberish you guys are just spewing. All the misinformation. The government's going to shut this YouTube channel down.
Oh my God. The stenographer. when JP starts talking,
outside.
Yeah, cheers. Jesus. Oh my God.
Go ahead.
All right.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No. I missed my opportunity. There we go. All right. Commercials.
Yeah, I guess it's time for commercials. Deeb had something to say, and then now he doesn't. Hey guys, I gotta tell you about our friends Gaudin Porsche of Las Vegas and Gaudin Classic. If you're looking for a new Porsche or a classic, you gotta call our friend Steve at Gaudin, this guy. Save yourself the hassle of screwing around with all the auctions like we always talk about, and just talk to Steve. He'll find you the classic Porsche you're looking for. Gaudin Porsche of Las Vegas. If you don't subscribe to Bid Nerds on YouTube right now, I'm gonna shoot this 997. If you said, wait, that's a 996, you're a nerd. So subscribe to the new YouTube channel, Bid Nerds. Hey guys, you're probably looking at your watch and wondering if Bid Nerds will ever end. So you better talk to our friends at Our Smiths to make sure your Rolex, Tag Heuer, AP, or any fine timepiece is in tip-top shape. Our Smiths, fine Swiss repair. All right, the stupidity continues even during the break. We're still having a debate about whether or not brown is a good color for a 911. Let us know in the comments below. I didn't ask you guys to let us know in the comments below. The Nerd Herd is rocking it tonight. They are here in force. Have you guys hit the thumbs up yet? Please do so, and let's move on to some new predictions, because I think we got some pretty cool cars here to determine whether or not, the big question tonight is, are prices falling off a cliff? I think the cars that we talked about on the last episode are kind of showing some let's call it, not falling off the cliff. Maybe just kind of
Teetering?
resetting, teetering on the cliff. Could they get tipped over if something happens? Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Hey guys, thanks for watching this clip of the Bid Nerds podcast. Play along with us live every Sunday and Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. on YouTube, and see if your bids stack up to the rest of the nerd herd in the chat live. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Get those nerds!